Ghana, Grace Asantua manages to still keep the ball, aims and goes for the goalpost. That was quite a very wonderful effort. Realizing that goalkeeper Toure had come out of her lines, she just wanted to give her that surprise.
Ghanaians have started well on a good note, and you can see where they are striking from. That was a good strike from Doris Boydua as well. I'm kind of getting how Ghanaians are trying to operate from defense, attack, and making sure they set forward to get that early goal against the Guinea. Things down to make sure they are okay, because if you are in a rush, you don't get things right. You need to calm your nerves down and make sure you are in control, in position of the ball.
Free kick. Referee spotting an infringement there on Kumbasa Habibatu of Guinea. And that was Janet Adri with a foul. Free kick, 5 minutes. Ghana versus Guinea. Ghana in white playing from right to left, and Guinea in red playing from left to right. If you just joined, Doris Bedua field in that instance to control the ball efficiently for the team. Priscilla Dupia for Ghana raises her head, sends it across, and that is quite another crucial save by Traore Mawa of Guinea. Well, how about this lovely build-up and the run by both players, Priscilla Dupia, and that save. Good kick. That effort was quite good, the build-up.
I love that kind of how they are gelling in front, how they are moving into spaces, making sure they attack every ball that comes into the box. That is the teamwork, and I kind of have the kind of cordial relationship between the strikers, reading and then getting into spaces. Esther, I guess this is wonderful for the team. They need to do more.
Mawa Traore with another goal kick to effect for Guinea. Olympic Games 2024 in sight. This is the first round of the qualifiers. Adama Al Hassan all the way to Cynthia, who has been engaged for the first time in this game. And that engagement came all the way from Adam Al Hassan, who has been given a very close marking there by Fanta of Guinea. And at this goal kick, she just knows how to do the job very well on the right flank. A player of Army Ladies, Adama Al Hassan, since she earned her first call-up to coach Nura Hopto's team. The consistency has been there. She always earns it, and she always delights and ends up with the responsibility in a very efficient manner. Portia Boache and Cynthia makes the first save for Ghana. A temporal hold-up. Guinea having one of their players who needs an attention before the game can continue. But that was the early clearance by Portia Boache, who is captaining the team today. But until they get the goal, their support will never waver. The Supporters Union of Ghana with their daily jobs. The fans have not been left out. Not even in terms of ages, kids equally in attendance. And that tells you the level of acceptance and acceptability of women's football in Ghana and how it is in recent times really evolving once again and trying to go back to its glorious days.
Of course, Esther, if you look at the women national team, they have done it before. We knew how they operate and how they were in recent times. But now, things are bring back the love. Everybody is showing love to what kind of football it is. But the women are now being on the verge of qualifying for Paris. This is going to be a long way. It's going to be rough, but they will have to make sure they fight through and see whether they'll be one of the 3 African countries who will make it to Paris 2020.
How about that exquisite control from Priscilla Adobia? The rate at which these players do the job. Asantua Grace also then finding Adama Al Hassan, but that block had to save Guinea from that attack. Grace Asantua and is offside against Priscilla Adobia. Priscilla Adobia found herself in an offside position. As such, that infringement will go the way of Guinea. And look at how she was trying to find herself in a shooting position just to penalize the Guinean defense. Evelyn Bedu. And it's free kick. But Guinea referee playing the advantage, and Guinea are trying to go from there. How about that for a back click from the captain? Portia Wache, Janet Ajiri. It's high boot against Janet Ajiri here. Free kick. Kumara, who was lurking around. But look at this from the captain, Portia Wache. So effortlessly. It was so effortlessly done by the team before Janet Ajiri. So look at these defenders and how they are even good with their feet as well. Super good, as if they are strikers or wingers.
Apart from our Esther, I'm just loving the game. Looking at the cordial interpositional play against the Black Queens, and then it's really, really working out for them. And I give thumbs up to Nora Hopsall for making them gel together. And as we are seeing this beautiful football on the pitch, Esther, I'm so amazed to see them. The Guineans haven't been bad as well.
Goal kick, 10 minutes. Ghana 0, Guinea 0. But look at how Janet Ajiri has gone all the way to the final third of Guinea trying to get the goal. And that tells you how versatile she is. A very resilient and dependable defender at all times. Ghana nearly getting that possession there, only for it to be flagged as a foul there. Free kick.
I love the way they are playing. I love the way the Ghanaians are playing. They are really pushing, and then this is how it's going to be like. Esther, for the past few minutes now, you've been seeing that kind of passes, and then things are really going on, and we have to find out how they are doing that. But they need to be extra careful. If you're having all this kind of display, you need to put it into work to make sure you record an early goal. Otherwise, the Guineans are really working and defending deeply. It's not that good, but I guess if they settle well, they might worry the Ghanaians. It might be a draw, or this is not what we are looking for. This is not what they are looking for, but they'll have to make it count. That is Adama went to it, and then this is a free kick or a throw in for the Ghanaians.
Ghana with another effort who goes wide, goal kick as we approach the 15 minutes of the game. And it is Ghana 0, Guinea 0. And this is the second leg of the first round of the CAF qualifiers for Olympic Games 2024 in France. This is a mini tournament that CAF has indeed categorized it. They are saying it's a tournament. In other words, qualifies all geared towards Olympic Games. Guinea, Diallo, Fatoumata, and Guinea with the first attempt narrowly missed. That could have given them a lifeline and something to look to. They were just good. Started with Diallo before she received the ball back, and that effort which went wide. She's bulky. She has that technique. A player who plays for Olympic team for them in Guinea.
So Esther, this is how I was talking about in the earlier minute that you have a good display. You will have to make sure you make it count. See the Guinean nearly get the first goal in the very first 14 minutes of the game, but well, the defensive having been tested well. Looking at it, I saw Janet Ajiri moving forward and making sure things are always all okay for her, but as they are moving forward or they are searching forward, they need to look at their back as well because anything is possible. This is football. If they are able to read well or the coach is able to put acts together, they'll be found wanting.
Prisla Dubia for Ghana's Black Queens. Swung in. Another massive save by Mawa of Guinea. Doris Bwedua. She was well fed with a very wonderful ball from Prisla Dubia. She couldn't get that touch that she needed, and that paved the way for goalkeeper Traore to save the ball for Guinea. If you are talking in terms of Ghana's Black Queens, this is a team that had its first international way back in February 1991, and that was in a game against Nigeria where they lost by 5 goals to 1. And their biggest victory in terms of a team since it was founded has to be against the same Guinea team that they beat them by 13 goals to 0 on the 11th of July 2004. And then people have been wondering how Ghana's biggest defeat in international football, so far as Black Queens national team is concerned, that has to be that 11-0 defeat that is suffered in the hands of Germany on the 22nd of July 2016, all the way in Paderborn. And that is one of those huge, very unfulfilling memories that these players will not want to have again. So that has been how Ghana's team started their international championships and tournaments, and how they have fared in all of such tournaments. In no time, I will be updating on how they made it in their other internationals. She goes for goal, Grace Asantua. And the keeper is so much well alert. It means that she has indeed learned, having fallen short in the first leg that happened in Conakry a few days ago.
Grace had options to the left and then to the right. I guess she could have given a pass and then positioned herself well for it. But all the same, it was a good strike and then a good save by Mawa as well. The Guineans are really now getting settled in the game and they are defending deeply. But as said, plus for them.
Ghana trying to launch one once again, and that on the front foot is Prisla Dubia. She overhits the ball. It crosses the line, goes behind for goal kick to Guinea. But you look at Guinea and you would wonder how they have managed to make it all the way through in terms of their flourishing on the international scene for their national team. A team that had its international game as well in the year 1991. And since then, they have tried their possible best to ensure that they get the best of results. And in their first international, Guinea suffered 3-0 defeat in the hands of Nigeria on the 4th of May 1991. And their biggest victory was against their neighbors, Guinea-Bissau, by 3 goals to 1 on the 11th of November 2006. And the biggest defeat for Guinea women national team has come from the hands of the Black Queens of Ghana. 13-0 defeat that is suffered in the hands of the Black Queens of Ghana in Conakry, Guinea. An awful defeat for them on the 11th of July 2004. So that has been the story of these two teams, how they were founded, how they have fared, and where they are gearing towards. Janet Ajiri for Ghana manages to send a low drive there, but that wasn't a ball that could have ended up causing any form of havoc or chaos to Guinea as declared. Diallo fouls Portia Boache, and it's free kick to Ghana. 20 minutes, Ghana 0, Guinea 0.
In 21st five, 90 minutes gone and no scores for each side. And then looking at it, both of them has been very, very solid. Looking at it, they have been defending deeply, and then this is unpardonable. Esther is really unpardonable from the position where Evelyn Bedu was. Couldn't have missed this kind of target, Esther.
Evelyn Bedu taking her time there. So that was the build-up. Asantua Grace, who managed to find Evelyn Bedu, who was on mark initially. She had options too, but decided to go for goal before that save was made once again by Traore, who is in a very perfect form in the early minutes of the game so far for Guinea.
It has been Mawa and the Ghanaians as the first 20 minutes. This is what it looks like. But don't forget, when they went to Guinea, it took them more than some minutes to make sure they get the first goal, and then the second goal came in the 20th minute. This is what is happening. The Guineans are getting comfortable defending their lines, and this is how it's been pushing.
Ghana on the ascendancy once again, J. Vivian Kunedu. And she looking at that close marking that she was given. And Coach Nora Hopto realizes that it is time to come to the dugout, come out of her dugout and come to the touchline and try sending some words and messages across to her players. Evelyn Bedu raises her head, manages to find Adam Al Hassan, and Adam once again failed to control it in a very good manner. Diallo for Guinea, and Guinea will take their time to build and find very good positioning. Janet Ajiri with that masterpiece of defending for the Black Queens. Adama Al Hassan. People have been wondering how Janet Ajiri does the work without any sort of hiccups or difficulties. Presla Dubia. And it is goal kick. So that was how Presla Dubia sprouted away. But that, you would say there was a slight deflection. But the referee knows best and has given the right decisions.
Assistant referee says it went offside. So it's just that the little touch, we were thinking it was a deflection, but looking at it, it seems I can see a Guinean in pain. I guess when the clearance from Ejiri was cleared, maybe a high boot or on the ribs. You can see that. So that was the intervention Ejiri, and then that was the timely clearance. Ouch. I guess it's painful then. It is. Look at how it's going to be like, and then I guess the Guineans are also now comfortable. It seems they're enjoying the game. As up to now, they haven't conceded. They have been pressure building and piling up to them. But the goalkeeper has been the woman of the moment, as I could say. Mawa has had a lot of saves. So it's Mawa against the Black Queens. But the Black Queens need to take advantage. They have quite a number of chances crossing in, and then they have let it go. They need to make it count, Esther. They are doing everything right, but they need to be extra clinical to make sure they get that vital goals in front of their fans here at Accra Sports Stadium. People are still trooping in, and then after water break, they continue.
So this is the 2024 CAF Women's Olympic Qualifying Tournament, which officially is known as the Women's Olympic Football Tournament. And this will be the sixth edition with a draw taking place in the month of May. And that is how CAF, after the draw, outlined the respective roadmap geared towards qualification. And the first round, which is underway, was marked between the dates of 10th to 18th. Presla to be for Ghana, but for lack of efficient communication between herself and Evelyn Bedu, they end up giving possession away very cheaply to Guinea, who are trying to get something better out of this attempt of theirs. Diallo for Guinea sent it back, and that strike, which was ballooned away, goal kick to the Black Queens of Ghana. So that's how the Confederation of African Football, after the draw, has indicated. So if you look at the first round and this game involving Ghana and Guinea, the winner in the second round is likely to face either Benin or a team like Guinea-Bissau. And then in the third round, a team from these two teams will end up meeting either Mali or Zambia in the third round. And that is how huge these qualifiers are for all of the teams participating. But don't forget that teams and countries like Zambia and Nigeria, they were exempted from the first round. They didn't take part in it. And that would have to be for entrants like Ghana and others. Vivian Kujo, who was lurking around, could not get a hold on to that ball. As we approach the 30th minute, the scoreline still remains the same. It's Ghana 0, Guinea 0. Dear Susanna Ama, Doris Wedua, and Janet Hedgery. Janet with the ball. Doris Wedua. And the referee says it's a 50-50 challenge, and the advantage should go the way of Guinea.
Ghanaians are knocking at the door, and then they need to get a quick answer. Look at that timely intervention and then the clearance from the Guineans. I think they are comfortable. As I said, they have settled well. They are calm, and they are making sure they are just calmly and taking that clearance and then chances. Just making sure they sweep all balls or dead balls or the 50-50 second balls away from them. Just look at that timely clearance when the goalkeeper missed. This shows that they are really being pep talked to, and they are calm, making sure whatever happens, happens. But the Ghanaians need to be clinical when they get into the box. Their touches is letting them down when they are in a good position. Adobia has been crossing, but not really swift or a good ones.
Ghana again with Doris Wedwa's header saved once again by the ever-present Mawa Traore of Guinea, the goalkeeper. And that is a similar header of that nature that Doris Wedwa from that same position has managed to get. Vivian Kujo with another attempt on goal. Narrowly missed. Vivian Kujo. Coach Noah have to watch her once after her tour in Europe. And afterwards, she indicated that this is a player I need in my setup. She will be of very good help. So look at the instinct of a striker, the turning from her and the strike, realizing that the positioning of Mawa was very vulnerable and coming out with this very wonderful strike. This is huge.
Powerful tender ball from Kujo. That is what they need to be asking, because getting into the box, you can see Mawa has been very solid and always making sure that loose balls doesn't get to her. But this powerful drive from Kujo has to be getting more to her. Who knows? One He might miss. If this one was on target, I bet this would have been the first goal for the Ghanaians.
The quest to be at the Olympic Games continues for the Black Queens of Ghana. If you look at how they started their attempts to be at the Olympic Games in 1996, the Black Queens of Ghana couldn't qualify for the Olympic Games. In the year 2000, they failed to qualify. 2004, 2008, 2012, and 2016. All these stories ended in a very miserable end for the team as they sought to be at the first ever Olympic Games. But this time around, they might have a different story to tell, looking at how good that they have started and whether they would be able to be consistent with the performance. Adam Al Hassan skipping away from that attack. Grace Asantua. But the attempt to find Priscilla Dubia is foiled at the moment that it prefers and the time that it deems right. But until we get the goal, we have lots of dignitaries here in attendance. Executive Council members of the Ghana Football Association here, the Technical Director of the Ghana Football Association, Bernard Leper, is here. And then we have the Group Director of IMAX Media who have made this possible, making it possible, bringing this game to the doorsteps of football-loving fans. And that is no other than Mr. Al-Hadi Fadi Fatal himself, here also witnessing this wonderful piece of performance being shown by these two teams.
Interesting matches as we've seen the dignitaries also there. And then you can see the dignitaries who are here to support the ladies to march on to victory. Looking at it, it seems Ghana, as it stands, will be going through the second round, and you'll be seeing them play against either Benin in October between the 23rd and then, the 31st of October. This is how it's going to be. Adam Alassa has been called to action and defending very well. The Guineans in attacking position now, but Ghana calmly making sure they have.
Guinea, but Cynthia says another Mal Hassan needs to be a bit sharp when she has the ball. She has proven to be a bit jolty in few occasions so far, giving away some possessions that could have easily ended up with her side being penalized. Guinea here with a chance right across the face of goal, but couldn't meet the weight and legs of Guinea's player, and that is Fanta. Goal kick, 35 minutes with the clock ticking, and the Queens of Ghana haven't gotten a goal yet here at the Accra Sports Stadium. When they played in their last friendly against Guinea, against Senegal here at the Accra Sports Stadium, they ended the first half without goals. But when they came from recess, that was when they came very rejuvenated and gave different results. Could it be the story here as well in this game? Goal kick.
Anything is possible, Esther. As you say, even a minute or even extra time can lead to goals. It's just a mistake from the opponent, you just pounce on it. But Ghanaians have done what it takes, but they are not clinical. They need to be resolute and make sure they make it count.
One! A sublime goal! This can only be the exploit of a player that has emerged as the best player of CAF in the inter-club competition organized. A player that ended up being the player of the tournament as well. The youngest player, Evelyn Bedu. She was on target in Guinea a few days ago, and she's equally on target here at the Accra Sports Stadium. But how about this? Sprawling away from the attack, raising her head without support, realizing that Traore was out of her lines. And that is what Evelyn Bedu, CAF best player, can produce for you. It's Ghana 1, Guinea 0. But this is a solo effort, a very well-read with an insightful vision and a right technique to get the goal. Evelyn Bedu, 2 goals so far in the first round of the 2024 Olympic Game qualifiers for the Black Queens of Ghana. So Ghana 1, Guinea 0, and Ghana Presla Adobia with an excess touch, and she knew that that is painful.
Evelyn has done something marvelously that I don't know how to look at such a young player on the African continent. No wonder she was given that title. Look at the build up, look at that solo round, raising her head, looking at where Mawa was. For once, I thought she was just whipping in across, but looking at that intelligent play that people were not even expecting, so it just went straight into there. She's giving Ghana that kind of edge to make sure they go into recess even with the goal leading in front of the goal fans. You can't have anything better than one of your best players, one of your own. Everybody has gone through all the stages when it comes to women's football and has climbed up to this stage. You can't say or you can't talk much about her. Where she is playing now or operating her business in Norway shows that she has come of age, and we applaud her.
Doris Wedua for Ghana's Black Queens. Doris runs into traffic, and Guinea Claire Janet Tedri, who is so anxious to be on target in today's game. Free kick, but the referee has played the advantage. A needless push there. And the defenders have been so involving. And goal and goalkeeper Traore as well. But look at that overlapping run from Janet Tedri.
Esther, you can't talk about Jenna. She is all over the pitch. You will see her here, and then you see her in defense and then attacking position. Look at that brilliant pass that she nearly got herself into a good position for Ghana to take the second lead. I love that kind of interpositional play against Evelyn, Janet, and everyone has put herself in. Once they had a goal, you can see this kind of synergy within them, and they are pushing, making sure if they could get the second goal before the break, it will be a plus for them. Look at the side pass, the in pass of
Doris Wedua for Ghana's Black Queens. And Doris manages to get the ball back, but she overhits it. 40 minutes goal kick. And she complains that she needed to have gotten the ball earlier than she did. But in the meantime, Traore Mawa of Guinea has taken a tumble, and the paramedics are rushing onto the pitch to attend to her. But Doris was trying to get the better side there of the two defenders, Kamara and the Kumbasa Habibatu of Guinea. It's Ghana 1, Guinea 0. And Nora has seen what she needs to correct in the dressing room in the second half. But Ghana have gotten a goal, taking their aggregate. But look at where these fans have separated themselves, enjoying themselves with those exhilarating moves to delight themselves as well. That is what happiness is all about, especially when you have a team of this nature and they are producing the needed results for you. You need to be happy. And that is what someone would say, happy yourself.
Happy yourself.
That's what they are doing.
Master Sports is all about entertainment. They are entertaining the crowd, and then you can't take fans out of it. The support, the singing, the chanting, and the drama behind their teams. This is what we need it for. But Doris Wedua, I'm not surprised of what is happening. Doris Wedua is a player who doesn't need to dribble past a player to get goal. She needs you to give a direct, true passes for her to pounce on it. So when you get the ball and she's not able to control it, people should pardon her. I know there are skillful players who can hold on to the ball and make sure they draw in the defenders and then lay off the pass. But Wedua is not that kind of player that you can really spend on her when it comes to holding and then dribbling skills. She just needs a true pass and then she pounces on.
And Coach Kamara knows that a lot is at stake for him. They suffered 3-0 defeat in Guinea. And here at the Accra Sports Stadium in the return leg encounter for the first round of the 2024 Olympic Game qualifiers. Here they have once again succumbed to that tantalizing finish of a goal from Evelyn Bedu of Ghana's Black Queens. Evelyn Bedu. Asantua Grace. Asantua Grace gets the ball back, and Portia Boache Evelyn Bedu back to Asantua Grace, and that of a pass. Adama did well to still get a touch onto that. Wonderful. But it had already crossed the line before that delivery came. So goal kick with just 3 minutes to end the first half here at the Accra Sports Stadium. And two players have been offended too. But in the meantime, Evelyn Bedu has brought daylight between these two teams. She has broken the deadlock and given Ghana a head start, a goal to be good. So it's Ghana so far 4-0 on aggregate. And Guinea have the next 45 minutes, that is the second half, to get 4 goals and a possible win in one, or even the 4 goals to take this game to the sports kick. The fans have been delighted. The supporters union have been thrown into an explosion of joy. Doris Wedua been helped out of the pitch, hoping that wouldn't be a terrible injury that wouldn't allow her to continue with the rest of the game. That might end up being a very huge blow to the Black Queens of Ghana. Although they have the likes of Marianne Ponsan, the second top scorer in the Women's Premier League, on the bench to count on in their game as well. And it is 3 minutes of additional time. Sarah commits that foul on Portia Boache. But look at that twisting and turning from that defender who knows how to hold on to the ball and maximize it to her benefit and the benefit of her side. Portia Boache, who has been given the leadership role in this game. Adam Al Hassan. Free kick to Guinea. And Adama challenge on Fanta of Guinea. So Guinea would have this dead ball situation. So that is how it's resulted in Adam Al Hassan with a pull of shot from behind, and the referee spotting it and realizing that the advantage needs to be given the way of Guinea. Free kick for Guinea. Cynthia needs to defend this. And that will be one of those saves that she needs to make, but it wasn't on target though. Goal kick. Free kick taken by Kumua of Guinea. A short one taken. Portia Boache to Cynthia. And Cynthia finds Suzanne Amma. And the defenders of the Black Queens are for the first time trying to get their goalkeeper involved, who hasn't really been perturbed with most of those balls. Prisla Adubia for the Black Queens of Ghana. And Prisla manages to send this to Doris Wedua. And Ghana, Vivian Kujo, Evelyn Bedu, even when she was down, wanted to get a piece of the ball. So the first attempt of hers was blocked. After that block, just when she was down there and having a sight of the ball, wanted to get that as well. If the CAF qualifies for the 2024 Olympic Games. Ghana haven't been to that tournament since. Ghana's Black Queens have not been to that tournament since its inception. Zambia were the team that were in Japan in order to represent Africa. And Zambia are waiting for the second round. That is where they will kickstart their campaign from. But the likes of Ghana, the likes of Benin, the likes of Mali, all of them need to start from the first round. So the first half ends here. The second round of this Olympic game qualifies between Ghana and Guinea. As the Black Queens of Ghana, whose exploit have earned them a goal to be good in the first half. So Ghana have taken the lead through Evelyn Bedu, and that is the lead that they will protect through in the second half. So the first half ends here for the return leg encounter involving Ghana and Guinea. It is Ghana 1, Guinea 0.
Aminata, and then we see Koli and Diallo. This is how they also arrived at the Accra Sports Stadium. Of course, they look a bit exhausted, but I think we are all good to go. We all came from Guinea down here with the Ghanaian players. Lovely. Relax JC, I can see with their colors, black in there. They are on no pressure to make sure they overturn the scoreline. Already, they have conceded 3 at home. So as they are here to enjoy the game. Who knows? They can cause upsets. If we are able to go to Conakry to beat them, why can't they also retaliate? But if only the Black Queens are geared to go to Paris Olympics game, then it will be. So this is the warm-up for the Ghanaian teams, as you can see them displaying and warming up, making sure they are fit for the entire duration of the match. You can see the captain in there, Doris Bedua, as you can see the fitness trainer also being in there, making sure the girls are all poised. Well, good exercise to get through the 90 minutes of the game. It's a lovely serene here, and the weather is conducive for association football. Black Queens taking on Guinea, and the first leg or the first round and the second leg of the Olympics qualifiers. We will have to go through a couple of group stages, but one after one. And then since Nora Hoptel arrived in Ghana The mission Volta is working. They have gone through series of matches without conceding a lot. Or they have drawn one and then they are still pushing and making sure all is well for them. They haven't lost any game since Nora Optel arrived in Ghana. The team is shaping up and all is all poised. This is the Guineans also making sure they are also poised for the entire duration. They are all well. And then look at them. Gone are the days when you can only predict when you are meeting um, some international tournament teams. But this time around, football has come of age. Everybody has upped their game and then they are looking poised. And Guineans, there is no difference, and this is how it's going to be like. The lovely fans are also here. Supporters are also in their numbers to support the Black Queens to fight to victory. So all is set, all is poised, and then we are going to look and see the first 45 minutes shortly. So these are the supporters union also in their numbers. Lovely dress in their white, gold, green with a black star, ready to support the Lakes women. So here we go. In the next 45 minutes, we'll see what happens between the Black Queens and the Guinean counterpart. I will be handing over to Esther Bankwa in commentary for the first 45 minutes.
The strive to be at the quadrilateral competition continues as the Black Queens of Ghana host their counterparts from Guinea in a return encounter in the CAF Women's Qualifiers for the 2024 Olympic Games. Good afternoon, it's Ghana versus Guinea live here at the Accra Sports Stadium. I am Esther Abankwa Ubedo and this alongside Nafisa Fatal. This is another major tournament altogether inside for any of these teams. Temperature 28 degrees here this afternoon at the Accra Sports Stadium. How prepared are these two teams? In the first leg of the first round, Ghana in Conakry beat them by 3-0, all through the goals that were scored by Evelyn Bedu, Vivian Kujo, and then Doris Bwedua for the Black Queens of Ghana. But this is in their own backyard. At the Accra Sports Stadium, the Black Queens are playing before a host of their fans who have this afternoon turned up here in order to support their team. How well flourishing will they be in today's encounter? In no time, the two teams will walk out of the tunnel onto the pitch. But as usual, we have the fans here, Ghana supporters who are here to cheer the Black Queens onto victory. It's a major support that they have been offering all the respective national teams, and the Black Queens are not exception. What would be the scoreline? 3-0 in the first leg. The next couple of hours will let us know what this other results would be. Don't forget, the likes of either Benin or Guinea-Bissau are awaiting the winner of these two encounters for the second round. And then in the third round, Zambia or Mali will be waiting one of these two teams. A brief handshake of the two coaches. Nora Hopto for Ghana, and then on the other hand, a face Diop Toure for Guinea. A huge game that can't be missed. In terms of Olympic Games, Ghana's Black Meteors failed to qualify when the Black Queens of Ghana, their head coach, was asked whether that was indeed a different pressure altogether on her team in order to ensure that Ghana gets a representative for football at the Olympic Games in Paris. But the coach indicated that she is so much saddened that the Black Meteors couldn't make it, but the Black Queens of Ghana, who are so much poised to be at their maiden edition of Olympic Games. Since its inception, Ghana's Black Queens have not been able to be there. A quadrennial competition. If they fail to qualify for this tournament altogether, it would mean that the wait would continue for the team as they step forward to ensure that they qualify.
Ladies and
But
gentlemen,
this
now
is a glorious afternoon. The first round of the first leg done and dusted in Guinea. The second leg in just some few minutes. And there, oh, she even assisted Bintu and then Tabara in Boji, all of them from Senegal. The fourth official is Mami Kumba, who is equally from Senegal, and then Ahua Irene from Ivory Coast has been made the referee assessor. The match commissioner for today's encounter, all the way from Burkina Faso, is Sabine Marine Isabel, and that is the confirmation of the referees who have been given this huge thanks. And it is the Women's Olympic Football Tournament, Tours Paris 2024. And this is the first round. Let's take a look at how the teams are lining up for the game. Ghana in their starting lineups have Cynthia Kolan Findip, Adamal Hassan, Janet Ejiri, Grace Asantua, Jennifer Kujo, Suzanne Amadia, Doris Wedua, Priscilla Dubia, Evelyn Bedu, Portia Boache, and then Vivian Ajay Kunedu. And they have the likes of Linda and Mavis Owusu, all of them on the bench, are waiting to offer support when they need be. How, on the other hand, are Guinea lining up for the game? Tuare Mawa is starting, Yula Aminata Kamara, and then Kumbasa Habibatu, Kuli Yvonne, Suma, Mariam, Diallo, Nimatu, and then the likes of Nancy, Sidibi, Sarah, Diallo, Dede, and then Sidibi, Fanta, and their coaches Kamara, who has this huge task of overturning a 3-0 deficit in the first leg. How prepared are they, and what are you expecting towards this game, Nafisa?
Going to be an easy goal for both sides, because the other one knows I was down by 3 goals in front of the home fans, and then this is where the Black Queens are going to play in front of their home fans, making sure the road to Paris, making it easier in the first round of the Olympics 2024 qualifying stages. Nora Hopta has really done well, looking at the mission Volta, that the agenda that is set. Up to now, they are still moving on, and it's smooth for both teams. So let's see how Ghana operates in front of their fans today at Accra Sports Stadium.
Guinea ranked 136th in the world in the latest FIFA rankings that came all the way in June. And here we get started with Ghana all in white, playing from right to left in the first half. Ghana versus Guinea, and Guinea on the other hand are in red with shots of yellow, playing from left to right. But in the early minutes, it will be a sail through one for the Black Queens of Ghana, who are currently ranked in terms of FIFA's latest ranking to be on the 58th. Surgeon forward Adama Al Hassan ends up giving the ball away to Guinea, but that goes as far as where Grace Asantua is. Grace takes her time, since they know that this is quite a familiar team that they are playing against, having played with them just a few days ago. Doris Wedua for Ghana, and Doris manages to send a delivery in. That could have been quite an early goal for Priscilla Adobia of Ghana, but that effort has indeed been appreciated by not only the fans, by as well her teammates, and that was Doris Wedua at her best. Even when she was losing her balance, managed to just swing it across, and there it ended up towards Priscilla Adubia, who was running towards it, but she couldn't get that glorious touch that could have given Ghana the lead. Doris Boydua to Evelyn, but Evelyn ends up giving it away to Guinea. And Guinea are taking their time. Diallo is fouled. Free kick. Free kick won by Guinea. And Evelyn, who lost the ball, had to make amends, but she ended up committing a foul.
I love the way both sides have started the game. At least they are quite putting energy into the game, making sure it's exciting for both teams. But I like the position of Doris Boydua, the runs that she's been doing on the left, the first touch, and then that cross that was missed by Portia Bashua and then Edobia. That was another one, and then this is how they approach.
Ghana once again surging forward, and this should be an easy one, but safety has been thought of first. And look at how the goalkeeper, Tuare, is applauding her teammate. Job done well, because she knew that if she had allowed the Ghanaians, that could have been a very difficult one for her. She would be so much vulnerable that they will end up conceding an early goal in less than 5 minutes. But this is not what Guinea are looking forward to. And Ghana, another good delivery in. Free kick with offside. And the flag being raised against Ghana. Goal kick. Goal kick to Guinea, a team that managed to get its first international competition all the way in 1991. And in that 1991 that they played a major competition, since then they have tried not to sink along the way. Their lowest ranking in FIFA's own was 148th in September 2015. Ghana, Grace Asantua manages to still keep the ball, aims and goes for the goal post. That was quite a...
have to be learning, nothing more.
Okay, nothing more. So we'll be going straight into the second half to see what the scoreline will be at the end of 90 minutes. So it has been Mina, Fisa, Fatah, and then Nana Odosafu. We'll be handing over to Esther in commentary to take us through the next 45 minutes.
Welcome back to the Accra Sports Stadium for the second half of the 2024 Olympic Game qualifiers, a game involving Ghana's Black Queens and their counterparts from Guinea. The first half ended through a wonderful goal scored by this brilliant player, Evelyn Bedu, and jersey number 13 for the Black Queens of Ghana. And that is the goal that has taken Ghana's aggregate to 4 goals so far. And that means Guinea will need to score 4 goals to stand the chance of possibly taking this game to the spot kick, to stand the chance of trying to earn a spot in the next round of the competition. But until then, the Queens would continue to enjoy their strides and the success that they have chalked. If you are talking of success of women's team, this honorable woman in your shot, Madam Abiba Arthur, has been one of those genuine and very consistent advocates of women's football in the country for the Black Queens and the respective national teams. So Doris Waidua couldn't continue. She has been replaced by Yakubu of Hazakes ladies. She's coming in to replace Doris Boedua, who picked a knock right on the stroke of first half, and that injury hasn't enabled her to continue with the rest of the game. But Yakubu is equally a very good replacement for Doris Boedua and their teammates. They would be able to replicate whatever that they do. Having played together for over 2 seasons now, they are so much poised. Another to ensure that Ghana gets a lot of goals in this second half. So referee, with that whistle, means that the second half is underway here at the Accra Sports Stadium. And in the second half, the Black Queens of Ghana, who are all in white, they are playing from left to right in the second half. And the Guinea, on the other hand, in red, they are playing from right to left. Adama Al-Hassan of Army ladies to Evelyn Bedu, who was given that shrug that the referee has deemed fit to get that free kick. The offense was made by Suma Mariam of Guinea. So Ghana haven't really been that flourishing as you would have expected them to have been. Others might contribute to the fact that they already have 3 goals to their credit, and for that matter, they are not under any pressure. Don't forget, Ghana would have to sail through 4 different rounds of qualifiers before they can get that not to be at their first ever Olympic Games. And they have other very huge competitors along the line as well. In the second round, they'll be playing against either Benin or Guinea-Bissau, who are also playing at the same time as these 2 teams are playing. And in the third round, Zambia and Mali are the potential opponents for any of these 2 teams. So this is a huge one, and they need to have that consistency, that urgency, that dexterity in attack, and they need to make sure that they are on point in terms of how they go about their style of attack. Guinea and Ama Suzanne Gia gets the ball for the Black Queens. It had to be that good clearance. Janet Ejiri throw in. And that throw-in was succumbed to by Diallo of Guinea. Goddess Black Queens taking their time. They are just about 40 minutes away from making it to the second round. And look at that howler from Mawa. That could have been a very generous gift to the Black Queens of Ghana. She came out, punched the ball, but it ended up hitting Yvonne Coley, her own player. before she was left off the hook. So fortunate not to have conceded second goal. Free kick to Ghana's Asantua Grace. And Asantua hasn't really attained her height so far in this game. She's noted to be that player that always flourishes and gives that very wonderful support up front. She hasn't been at her height in this game so far. Ghana on the ascendancy for their quest for the second one. Kunedu for Ghana with that delivery too wide. Ends up missing virtually all the players of the Black Queens who were lacking with intent. Prisla Dugia. And there's another one. Prisla sets up Asantua Grace. And this is another miss. Just a narrow one by Evelyn Bedu. Looking at that ball that was flogged in. And then Presla Dubia setting up Asantua Grace, whose effort was blocked before that dip from Evelyn Bedu. It was just a whisker away. Ghana could have gotten their second. 50 minutes is Ghana 1, Guinea 0. Throw in to Guinea. As the Olympic qualifies. And this is a tournament by CAF geared towards getting their representatives at this quadrennial competition. Vivian Kunedu decides to seek support from behind, and that's how the Queens are gearing towards aiming to find a head start. Referee plays the advantage there. Presla thought that she would be awarded that free kick. She was indeed given a push there by Yvonne Coley of Guinea. But the referee said that was a friendly one. The referee wasn't interested in awarding that. Adama Al Hassan, who looked very jolty in the first period, hoping that Coach Nora has done a lot of talking to her. She is very good, but isn't looking flourishing. Janet Ejiri to Yakubu, but that was offside against the Black Queens of Ghana. And Yakubu was looking forward to be on target after coming in to replace Doris Boydua. So Ghana still holding on to Evelyn Badu's goal, and Guinea still hoping against all hopes to get 4 goals for the rest of the 38 minutes that we have.
Should they be able to score that 4 goals that pushes it into extra time and then go to penalties as the rules of the game is? But as it stands, as a tall order for the Guineans to see how they are going to. But Black Queens have also started well. Wedu are coming out.
Ghana with a chance to make it for the second. Chris Ladubia scores. This build-up is indeed great. A combination. So this should be that partnership that we were looking forward to. Chris Ladubia and Asantua Grace. They get in the goals. Chris Ladubia have been fed with those wonderful supplies. And then they get in the goals when they need be. So it's Ghana with their second goal. And it is Prisla Adubia who gets the second. Evelyn Bedu, the goal scorer, at hand assister. And the executioner, Prisla Adubia, on target. Ghana 2, Guinea 0. So that means Ghana are 5-0 on aggregate. Guinea, should they start throwing in the towel of brass football, and goals can be scored at any microseconds?
Looking at the build-up, the calmly collected side of Evelyn making it.
Chris Ladubia once again at it, and Ghana with a chance to make it 3. Chris misses this. She misses a chance to make it 2 goals in less than 2 minutes for the Black Queens of Ghana. How about that? Was she trying to set up Kunedu to have gotten another goal? Kunedu looks very disappointed. She just wished that could have indeed come her way. And Nora felt the need that she wanted a third goal through that. 55 minutes, Ghana 2, Guinea 0.
Of course, Konedu was disappointed. She knew she could do better, and then this is how it went through. But obviously, you can see the Black Queens are on fire. They just want to finish the job quiet, nice, and clean in front of the home fans to make sure they get much of them on their side. Fanta on the other side has gotten herself a yellow card on that nasty challenge on Chris Asantua. But looking at this, I think there's a pep talk going around. Looking at how they are mounting up, the way they have put themselves into the game, they seems not to be like a team that they are relaxed. They are still making sure they stretch forward, getting more goals. In as Nana Ojo Safo said that there should be more goals in the second half for them to at least have that sounding victory going into either meeting Benin or whoever comes in the second round. But the biggest and their fear is will be on the test will really be on the third round where they meet the big fours who have had the edge to be on the level on that side of African women's football.
Janet Edry today has really been helping the team. But the road to Olympic Games 2024 continues. Chris Ladubia, Bamawa Traore with a very good view gathers for Guinea. Goal kick. It's taken. Pitch cans all the way to Jennifer Kujo, who ends up giving the ball away to Guinea. And Guinea are trying to at least hold on to the ball and string some few passes together, because without the ball, they are very poor. On the ball, they are equally not good enough. So this is a very difficult game altogether for Guinea. Adama Al Hassan. Adama all the way to Evelyn Bedu. And the two players, Konedu and Evelyn, could not communicate efficiently. Asantua Grace manages to find her captain, Portia, watching. Amadia. And Ghana are dominating in the early minutes of the second half, just as they did in the first. Asantua Grace throw in to the Black Queens of Ghana. And Diallo has been very busy today. She has gotten a very difficult contest with Asantua Grace. And these are the two midfielders that all the teams are counting on. Their contest started all the way in Guinea, and it has continued here too at the Accra Sports Stadium. Diallo and Asantua Grace. A very huge one for her. Diallo. Fanta for Guinea. And Portia surges forward only for Guinea's Kumbasa Happy Batu to Claire as we approach the hour mark. Janet Edgery to Asantua Grace, who plies her trade in Spain. Amadia to Asantua Grace once again. And Ghana dominating. Yakubu. And Ghana gets their third. Evelyn Bedu makes it 3. And she smiles. This is what Evelyn does with that crisp and cool goal that she scored. Evelyn Bedu smiles. She gets the third. So that means she has gotten 3 goals in 2 games so far as the 2024 Olympic qualifiers for the African continent is concerned. She was just at the right place at the right time for the Black Queens of Ghana. But look at what, but not well done by Mawa Turare. It's all on the foot of Evelyn Bedu, who was like it, and she makes it 3 for Ghana. 60 minutes, Ghana 3, and clinical team for the remaining minutes.
Of course, they need to bring fresh leg in at least to make sure they don't concede much more goals. But sometimes when you bring in fresh leg, it's sometimes a kind of a tricky play as we see. But as I said, Ghanaians was on fire. And then you can see that definitely Nora needs to introduce fresh leg into this team to make sure they also have a feel of the Black Queens national team. Just look at that. We do giving a hand to Stella Nyamiche. Sorry.
So, to fill in the shoes of such players such as Evelyn Bedu and that Presla Adubia, who gave her that handshake following her introduction. She had a debut in Guinea when they played in the first leg, and she has been given this time around over 30 minutes for the second half. And this is a player that won the player of the tournament when Ghana hosted the inaugural competition of the WAFU Zombi U20 Girls Cup, which took place in Kumasi, in Ghana's capital, the garden city of. She has lived up to the billing. The job is well done once again by the Black Queens of Ghana, and as such, they are just taking their time to build at the right moment from behind. Of course, it's offside against the Queens of Ghana. A relief for the defense of Guinea because they wouldn't have to once again square off with that heavy challenge. So that was the offside against Presla Adobia. Things are yet to concede since the appointment of Nora Huttle as the new coach of Black Queens of Ghana. They haven't conceded, but they have scored as many as victories in 2 games.
Of course, Nora and her girls are really living up to expectation. As the agenda they brought on board, Mission Volta, is something that we were really looking out for and seeing how it will go. But camp is really something you really can't talk about. Looking at how they are playing, even in this second half, for more than 2 minutes or a minute, they were still handling the ball without giving the Guineans the chance to operate. But this is a team that they are lovely, they are delight to watch when it comes to this. And then broadcast in the second half. Just look at the lovely pass from Adama, and then Prisla was just pulled from nowhere. And then this is how they display their talent in front of their home fans. Esther, it's really lovely, and I'm enjoying the Black Queens play such games. It's quite a long time to see our teams playing this kind of relaxed and manner games, and they are pouring goals in as well. Manwa, who was the first half brilliant and making sure no goal or no ball go past her, has considered as many as 3 goals here as she did on Friday in Conakry.
So the Olympic Games is in sight, and that is the sole mission and vision of this qualifiers. This is where Ghana are aiming to make their first ever appearance. So this is the first hurdle that they needed to ensure that they go by successfully. And look, they are on track. There is the possibility of them making it to the second round. But what they need to do is to ensure that they make it past the second, the third, and the fourth before they can find a slot in it. But how? At the decision, she thought that she had indeed timed her run, but the referee realized that that wasn't the case. So it's free kick that is going the way of Guinea, who have taken it very swiftly. Adam Al Hassan heads, and Ghana are surging forward. Evelyn Bedu to Stella Nyamiche, and Stella, the youngest player so far in this team. Throw in. Throw it to the Black Queens of Ghana. All these changes. And Ghana are equally about to make some substitutions. They are ready to ensure that they vary their tactics once again. Yakubu with that good control. And Guinea with the ball straight to Yakubu, who strikes, but another block of which he manages to pounce on. Free kick. The advantage going the way of the Black Queens of Ghana. It had to be Yakubu of Hazakis, the player who has a very wonderful story. She has indeed given a twist to female footballers across the globe. A mother of 2, mothering, parenting, and playing a delightful football. Such a rare gem, you would say.
We have beautiful talent on the field of women's football. And anytime you mention the name Yakubu, it reminds me of a certain Yakubu I know. But we will talk about that Yakubu later.
As we approach the 70th minute, Ghana 3, Guinea 0. And this means that Yakubu, who has taken a tumble, has been attended to. And Ghana are also ready in their change. Adama Al Hassan It's been substituted, and that means Azuma Bugri. Ghana substitution. Adam Al Hassan of Army Ladies. Job done for her. The supporters are happy. They rightly deserve to be. And the free kick will be taken by Guinea, set 3. It means that the second round is assured for the Black Queens of Ghana. Janet Ejiri. Janet to Evelyn Bedu, who motions forward, finds Presla Dubia, who couldn't get her touch on. Yakubu sends it back, and that should be goal kick. Not on target, but had Presla Dubia scored, that would have been a stunner, a very great goal. She seemed a bit indecisive whether to come up with that acrobatic kick or be herself and give that simple touch to result in a goal.
Obviously, Esther, if you have a close defender being close to you like that, it's difficult to position yourself for such passes. But if it should have been on target, that would have been a lovely goal from Edobia as well. They are playing quite interesting game, and then they are taking chances, but they need to be much more clinical. They can score much more goals looking as they play against the Guineans, but they need to be their fresh leg more coming in, and then that kind of teamwork, interpositional play, and the box is really amazing.
Presla Adobia for Ghana's Black Queens. Ghana with a chance to make it 4. How was that gotten? Evelyn Bedu misses. This is a very difficult miss for her. Her turning was very good. Presla Adobia just too wide. Just too wide. Ghana's Black Queens having 10 lethargic in their build-ups and, of course, in the attacks. But the second half has proven otherwise, and that's why they've gotten 2 goals in the second half.
My oh my, this is what the fans are really enjoying. And then look at Janet is really tormenting the Guineans when it comes to it. The size of the body shouldn't deceive you.
Guinea, who are seeking to get a consolation at Santua Grace. But this is ballooned. And Diallo is fouled. It's a push. He would say that in some contests and some referees might decide to ignore. But it's always the prerogative of referees to decide which fouls to take or not. The ones to ignore and the ones to award.
Depending on where, so definitely we have to give them the benefits of the doubt as well. And
free kick to Guinea. A chance for them to get a consolation. Would it be the case for them in this instance? Ghana having conceded. It wasn't as planned. And Evelyn Bedu is the player who has acres of space ahead of her. Stella Nyameche. Stella, back to Evelyn, whose first touch gives her away. Asantua Grace falls for support from Amedia Portia Boate. And Ghana are delighting their supporters.
as I'm looking at away from her, you can see that kind of zeal within her, but she's just repeating this. This is something that
Kudo for Ghana. She managed to squeeze the ball into the penalty area, but it couldn't get to the weight and legs of all the Black Queens players who were in the half of Guinea. Bahab. 75 minutes. Ghana 3. Guinea 0. Guinea have a player of theirs who needs to be attended to before the match can continue. But in the absence of the continuation of the game, these fans would continue enjoying themselves. It's the CAF tournament, and that is qualifies for the 2024 Olympic Games, slated to take place in France. This is an enviable qualification, an enviable feat, and an achievement that the Queens are hoping to get. Of all the attempts that the Black Queens of Ghana made in order to be at this quadrennial competition, it has never been fruitful. In 1998, in 2002, in 2006, in 1996, in 2000, in 2004, in 2008, in 2012, and in 2016, the Black Queens of Ghana, all those attempts were not successful when they wanted to be at the Olympic Games. They were actually the first national team to be at the World Cup before Ghana's Black Stars made it to the 2006 World Cup, which was held in Germany. And if you look at the Ghana's Black Queens, their appearance so far in the women's AFCON, they had their first appearance in 1991, and their best results in women's AFCON across the continent has been runners-up in 1998, in the year 2002, and 2006. For World Cup, they have gained qualification before. For Women's African Cup of Nations, it has been their birthright, just that they haven't won it yet. They might possibly do. But what they need the most is to be at the Olympic Games. Guinea would continue with their changes. Suma Mariam is coming in for Guinea. They are also introducing Suma Aminata into the game. And she would have the next 12 minutes plus additional time to herself. So for Guinea, they would have to wait for the next 4 years to try making another attempt to be at the Olympic Games, because with the scoreline, which has taken it to 6-0 on aggregate, it means Ghana have eliminated Guinea in the first round.
Cynthia needs to be careful, even though she has been free today in her goal post. She needs to be vigilant as well. Looking at it, she hasn't considered since Nora Hoptel came into the team, and it's looking that the team is now solid. Every department has been very every department is just like it's a life for life whenever anybody is being brought onto the pitch, or maybe they need a team to be tested. But looking at it, it looks all good for the Black Queens, and then all things that is going through it is really, really, really amazing for Nora Hoptel. She's really done well At a point in time when the collapse is in, people kind of, why are this collapse? But all the same, it's just a nice and a lovely one. But all the same, all things will really go on well and then really, really lovely as we can see the Queens progress into this qualifying series.
80 minutes on the clock. Ghana 3, Guinea 0. You're asking and you're thinking of memories for Olympic Games. The memories have not been good at all for the Black Queens. For the Black Queens. I remember vividly 2008. It was a very difficult one for them. And Nigeria, at some moment, have always been that difficult opponent for the Black Queens. Stella Nyameche of Dreams Ladies for the Black Queens managed to send it across Evelyn Bedu. Fails to make it 3 for herself, but 4 for Ghana. Guinea, with the remaining 9 minutes, it's free kick to the Black Queens of Ghana. Kujo Jennifer fouls, and in Ghana the free kick, and this is why the young sensation in Ghana's Women's Premier League, Dreams Ladies, is where she plays for. Stella Nyameche. An expert in set pieces, a player who, even at her age, is already a coach with license D, and she would in no time pursue her license C. The ambition is very huge. The talent is tremendous, very, very incredible. And these are the future of Ghana women's football. They have really loads and loads of such talents here.
No wonder she has the charisma, that pedigree. She's tactically disciplined on the field of play. And then looking at Stella, she's delighted to watch. She's calm. The top goal scorer of the season of the Guinea's Women's Premier League this season, back to back. She did it back to back, and then you can't take it away from this young chap. Even though her team has been relegated, she still stood tall and high to be the top goal scorer of the Women's Premier League in Ghana. She led her team under 20 to the inaugural under 20 women's team, and now she is in the Black Queens. And you can tell the difference between she being a new and the Queens, the Black Queens. She has really, really, really moved forward, and then she's a talent or somebody that we really have to look up to when we talk about women's football in Ghana.
With just 7 minutes left on the clock to end proceedings here at the Accra Sports Stadium, it's a CAF tournament for Olympic Games. Qualifications that CAF has decided to rather make it a tournament, a mini one, And the contest in the first round has to be made by over 25 teams. And Cynthia, because of how free she has been in today's game, has gotten some time to spare with those skills. 84 minutes. Guinea with the player of theirs who needs attention, and that it's obviously Kuruma Nancy. Kuruma Nancy has done her best in this game. It hasn't been the best of results that they would have wanted, conceding 3 in Guinea and coming to Ghana to concede 3 again. Coach Kamara would be highly disappointed with the results, but that is football. It's either you win or you lose. And Ghana have chosen to be on the winning side, whereas Guinea have chosen the latter. Evelyn Bedu with acres of space in front of her. Evelyn, who is there to make it 4. Fidel Yakubu, the substitute who came in for Doris Bwedua, has made it 4 for the Black Queens. As she celebrates, she was so sensational. She gets a hug from Coach Nora Hoptel. A huge one for her, coming in to fill in the shoes of her teammate, Doris Bwedua, who picked an injury in the right on the stroke of halftime. But how about that from Evelyn Bedu? She had lots of space ahead of her, took her time, waited for support, and just fed Fidels Yakubu, who makes it 4 for the Black Queens of Ghana. So it's Ghana 4, Guinea 0. The Hazakis ladies Wenga coming to the party in this game as well.
A former Hazakis player giving a pass, a former Hazakis player giving a pass to a Hazakis player to do that grateful thing. Unselfish of Evelyn Bedu, waited, took her time, lay off that pass to Fidels, who did no mistake in converting that 4 goals. Look at how they play fluidity. Oh, you can't really talk about this girl. Whenever they score, at least for the moments, for 30 seconds to a minute, they make sure they keep on to the ball. And then I wonder how the Guineans are having that edge to still stand with this Black Queens and this kind of play. Lovely, lovely, lovely calm intervention. Just look at that. Look at the tree. And then the likes of the defenders. They are making the work easier. And then they are delighted to watch when it comes to this.
If you are looking for players who have ridiculous abilities, Fidels Yakubu of Hazakis ladies is one of those key players. And so is their sister, Evelyn Bedu. Priscilla Dubia gets herself that free kick for her troubles. 4-0. So Accra Sports Stadium is gradually becoming a fortress for the Black Queens of Ghana. They haven't conceded on the soil, and they haven't suffered a defeat either since Coach Nora Hoptel took over. But in the previous years, in 2021 at Accra Sports Stadium. They ended up being eliminated by the Super Falcons of Nigeria. That was when Coach Mesitego was in charge, and they failed to make it to the Women's African Cup of Nations and the subsequent World Cup that Nigeria, South Africa, and Zambia have earned slots in. So this is a moment that they will cherish the most. It will be an emblem, and of course, a time that they will love to make it to all other world stages. Stella Nyamache flagged offside. Now she was offside by margins. She just wanted to add an icing to the cake for the Black Queens.
Of course, if you can go all the way to Conakry, Guinea to score 3 unanswered goals in front of your home fans, you need to double it. You need to make sure, as you have all the chances, you need to make a clear-cut incursion, showing that you are also a giant. But always, as you said, Nigeria has been a thorn in our flesh when it comes to qualification and going to that kind of sport. So it's a kind of rivalry between we and Nigeria. As you are saying, it's kind of a test that we have to see where we get to. But we'll have to be meeting Zambia as I'm seeing the qualification. Automatically, we'll be meeting Zambia along the way. And that will be a test for the Black Queens. They are yet to concede. But looking at it, I guess after Zambia, we'll really see how the team is being shaped up because automatically Guinea would be a team to threaten the Black Queens. But we are waiting to see if we can meet the giants who have been to the World Cup. At least we have Morocco there, and they are starting. I guess few days more to come. The World Cup will be starting as well in Australia, New Zealand.
So on Thursday on the global stage, the World Cup for women by FIFA will be taking place. That is the world stage, the apex, the highest. But so is the Olympic Games, the highest. Corner kick. It's flogged in by Guinea and Cynthia saves with ease. Evelyn Bedu, so Casey, so Belba tries to find her way through, but the referee is not interested in that collusion. Evelyn Bedu nearly had a hat trick. The 90 minutes is up and it's 2 minutes of additional time. Mawa Traore and Evelyn Bedu were involved in a collusion. But Evelyn Bedu is back on her feet. But Traore Mawa is yet to. So Evelyn Bedu, that was a clash. Mawa Traore ended up clutching into Evelyn Bedu, who has been so industrious in this game. She has been very industrious. Evelyn Bedu, 2 goals and an assist. A few days ago in Guinea, she was one of the players that had a goal. And today she has gotten 2 goals and has assisted 1. Ghana 4, Guinea 0. It's time for a hold up before the final minutes. But looking at the scoreline, it means that second round of the CAF Olympic qualifiers is in sight. It's secured, well secured by the Black Queens of Ghana and the Ghanaian populace. So second round, Ghana would meet either Guinea-Bissau or Benin. But Ghana have been involved in friendlies with Benin. They beat Benin by 3-0. But that was a friendly game, you would say. Guinea-Bissau, on the other hand, have been one of those resilient sides in women's football in recent times. Janet Etchery, the defender who doesn't allow anything to pass her by. Cynthia Portia Boache to Asantua Grace. Azuma Bugri. And Ghana, with the remaining minutes, are enjoying themselves. Kujo, Jennifer, Dia, Susan, Bugri Azuma, Madialo, Claes, Florian taken swiftly by Zuma Abugri. Asantua Grace. So for the no time because the 4 minutes is up already. Asantua Grace to Azuma Bugri. Portia Boache. And Ghana will love to get the whistle with the ball in their own possession. Stella Nyamechest. It's all over here at the Crossport Stadium. The Black Queens of Ghana have ended up trashing their counterparts from Guinea by 4-0. And the lady in your shots, Evelyn Bedu, had 2 goals and an assist. Presla Dubia had one of those goals, and then Fidauzi Yakubu had the 4th. So it's all smiles, happy moments for the Black Queens of Ghana as they leave Crossport Stadium today with the second round in sight for them for the CAF tournament of the 2024 Olympic Games. They came, they saw the challenge that was at hand, and they have conquered in an incredible manner. That is the brief summary of the story, which has ended being a successful one for the Black Queens of Ghana. It's Ghana 4, Guinea 0. would have to wait for.
Ɛhe fa na ɔno